everyone, and welcome back to the Cop Council. How are we all? Hopefully, all of you having a fantastic Friday evening, wherever you are around the world. And welcome to yet another Liverpool news show for you guys tonight. Anyway, we are going to be talking, of course, about Mr. Darwin Núñez and how he stole the show last night against RB Leipzig, Liverpool's 5-0 win over the German side. And of course, we will be talking about probably the main transfer topic that's come of age today out of absolutely nowhere, Matheus Nunes, and practically the deal being absolutely rubbish, getting called rubbish by reliable people this time, and so on. But again, we will go through all of the details about all of the links concerning, of course, Liverpool and Matheus Nunes as well. But guys, let me know how all of you are in the comment section down below as well. Let me know as well, your overall thoughts from last night's game against RB Leipzig as well, and overall as well, just let me know how all of you are on this Friday evening as well. And if you could as well, very much appreciate if you could feel free to leave a like, share, and subscribe as well, is also very appreciated. Of course, I think we're still on 670, I think it is at the minute. Anyway, but yes, thank you to each and every single one of you for tuning in. Anyways, Gary Zinting, hello, being Darwin Núñez will be the Cop darling. Anyway, hopefully, mate. And especially, from last night, he's settling in quite nicely, isn't it? All the Manchester United and all the rival fans did run away last night. They went back into their little caves, wherever they ran out of anyway, last week, wasn't it? But again, it's marvelous to see Darwin Núñez, getting confidence within himself, and all that good stuff as well. And guys, let me know as well. Tomorrow, I did say today would be the Premier League show. Tomorrow night now will be the Premier League show, because I wanted to talk about the Matheus Nunes stuff, because again, a couple of people will be mentioning it on Twitter and that, and Matheus Nunes, the Liverpool, here we go, and so on. But again, we'll talk all about the details about Matheus Nunes and Liverpool Football Club in a little moment, anyway. But guys, again, let me know how all of you are anyway, and we'll kick straight things off then with, of course, Mr. Darwin Núñez. Yes, 4 goals yesterday for the brand new Liverpool striker. Again, completely stole the show, didn't he, yesterday, against RB Leipzig. And again, we've spoken, the last, week or two, haven't we, Reds, about, he'll need time. He'll need, time to develop into this Liverpool team, into the way we want to play now without Sadio Mane, and be able to, flourish without Sadio Mane as well. And hopefully, it's a promising sign to see, again, getting into those, getting into those runs, getting into those positions that he did yesterday as well. And again, from every single chance he scored upon last night as well, which I think goes to show that, we have someone that is consistent. I think with, again, you look at his numbers last season, I think he scored less, or pretty much less shots than what he taken last season. He was pretty, reliable and pretty consistent with his goals, shot per goal ratio last season. And again, you hope he can now progress forward. Of course, Liverpool are in Austria right now. The photos are out of the Austrian training camp anyway. We've seen as well, if anyone has seen Thiago in the gold boots at the minute, is it Predator? Yeah, the gold Predators. Like, oh Jesus Christ, that looks amazing. But again, Darwin Núñez, as Data said today, iconic Núñez silenced the haters, and that's the thing. It was mainly yesterday silencing those haters of Darwin Núñez, and again, people always have a go at him because of the price tag. Even throughout the season now, if he doesn't start Fulham, people are going, oh, we've spent, was it 60 million quid on a player that doesn't even start in your team? Like, he will start. He will be amazing for Liverpool Football Club. And yesterday was the start of it, hopefully, as well. But Gary says his movement off the ball is great. Yeah, exactly. And again, there will be time for him to learn the movement as well. As Jack has said before, you watch that Champions League game back, the amount of times he was offside was horrendous, but he was getting in behind that Liverpool defense, and causing us problems. And I think Jurgen Klopp realized this player is going to be special if he can just learn one or two things, he's going to be a a world class striker in the future, and hopefully, of course, with time, learning Trent, learning Robbo, as well, and Thiago as well, then it will come for Darwin Núñez, and yesterday I think did prove that massively. Again, it was the thing that excited me, and I said this yesterday on Jack's stream last night. The thing that excited me was last night when he come on. Yeah, he was playing for the first time alongside Luis Diaz and Mohamed Salah, fully in that front three. And then when they got taken off, then he was then in the front three with him, Fabio Carvalho, and Harvey Elliott, which again, that's really, really frightening. The fact we have the seniors there already in Luis Diaz and Mohamed Salah, and then you have the youngsters, the guys that are going to be around for the next 10 years hopefully, and it's really, really impressive already. And again, we are the third game in pre-season now. We've got one more game away now against RB Salzburg. Now I think that's on the 29th, I think it is. If anyone could correct me on that. So it is in 5 days' time. Anyway, I think it's on the Friday. Do we play Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday? Potentially we might do. Anyway, but again, it's going to be very, very interesting to see, now you'll start to see the changes like we mentioned last week as well. But for me, guys, Darwin Núñez continues this and hopefully gets thereabouts as well. Hopefully he might start the season and Jurgen Klopp might put him in straight away, fingers crossed. Anyway, but Carvalho really impressed me. He is going to be a top player. Yeah, again, well, to be fair, I did have Fabio Carvalho highlighted. Well, I even did the graph for him anyway. But yeah, for me, yesterday, he was amazing as well. On that left-hand side of the front three, can play on the left-hand side as well of the middle three as well. And again, Fabio Carvalho, where is he, 18, 19 years of age? He has so much time for improvement as well. Him, Harvey Elliott as well. It's frightening, and them to, are the future for Liverpool Football Club. And they're already established midfielders. Carvalho less so, I would say, because of course just coming into the club. But again, you hope that the start of the Villa game, you hope that Fabio Carvalho can get game time. Harvey Elliott, you hope he can play in that midfield three now for a big period of the season, like he should have done last summer, or last season, I should say anyway. Of course, without that injury, who knows what would have happened with Harvey. But again, hopefully we can just hope that Darwin Núñez, Harvey Elliott, Fabio Carvalho, they can all progress together and become brilliant with one another as well anyway. But guys, let me know your thoughts as well about Darwin Núñez as well, getting his first Liverpool hat-trick. I think the only Liverpool players to get a hat-trick for Jurgen Klopp, whether that be pre-season or the actual season, I think is Bobby Mo Sadio, I think it is, and now Darwin Núñez. I don't think anyone else has got it under Klopp. So, again, a great sign anyway for the future. But yeah, guys, let me know your thoughts about Darwin Núñez and whether or not now he starts against, maybe Salzburg, potentially City. I still think it will be Bobby Firmino. He was really impressive yesterday, was Bobby. But again, who knows? Maybe Jurgen Klopp might go with Darwin Núñez or Starwin Núñez, as Gary likes to say. Anyway, but it will be interesting with Darwin Núñez. And again, hopefully now he can kickstart his career now at Liverpool and just, go on the way up. Everyone yesterday was over the moon as well. And like what Jurgen said as well about Mo Salah, I don't know what it is about his new contract, but if he's that, lost him in giving, Darwin Núñez the penalties, then fair enough as well. But yeah, I think Darwin needed that just to kickstart his Liverpool career off in the right way and, give him the full confidence that I think he needed. And hopefully can continue, like we did say anyway. But we will move on then to the second story. It won't be a very long video tonight, only about half an hour for you guys as well. And we'll also go back to Darwin Núñez in a little moment as well. But guys, let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know how many goals do you think Darwin would get this season? I think Gary went for he will score 35 goals this season. I bloody hope so, mate. Jesus Christ, if he scores 35 goals, I think you'd be up there in some sort of record book anyway as well. But we will move on then So, of course, Matheus Nunes. Now, of course, the latest rumours this morning was that Liverpool had put a bid in for Matheus Nunes. According to the Portuguese outlet or the Portuguese newspaper, Correio da Manhã, I think that's how you pronounce it. Apologies if I have butchered that. Anyway, did claim that Liverpool and Sporting were currently in negotiations, and a 30 million euro bid had got received by Porto from Liverpool Football Club anyway. But again, the reliable people then got on to these stories, and James Pearce did come out and say that told that talks of LFC bidding for Sporting's Matheus Nunes is nonsense. Club stance unchanged regarding summer business. No plans to strengthen midfield further in this window, which that is from James Pearce from The Athletic as well. And of course, Fabrizio Romano as well, also tweeting about this as well, saying no bid or negotiation for Matheus Nunes to Liverpool as things stand. Nothing has changed around this deal. Liverpool asked for Jude Bellingham in June, but it was an impossible deal, not even negotiation, as Dortmund consider him untouchable this summer. But again, guys, let me know your thoughts about Matheus Nunes. We did mention him on the midfielder video as well. And again, for a player with these stats as well, 50 appearances last season for Sporting, 4 goals and 5 assists as well. Picking up as many yellow cards as goal contributions last season as well. But again, he is very highly rated in Portugal. 23-year-old, can play everywhere, can play as a 6, can play as an 8. I think can even play in a 10 as well. I think he has done that for Sporting. Sorry. But again, for me, it's a massive no. Look, as Fabrizio Romano has said, quite clearly Liverpool have one man in mind, and that is Jude Bellingham. And again, like we've mentioned throughout the summer, there's not any stop gaps that are going to be signed this summer. We could easily go after, I think it's Lucas Soisek, I think it is, the Salzburg midfielder that we'll hopefully see play against the Reds in a couple of days' time. But again, Liverpool just won't sign anyone for the sake of it. I think that's been pretty clear over the last, over the last 5, 6, 7 years under Jurgen Klopp. Liverpool don't buy for now unless it's an emergency, like we saw with Ozan Kabak and of course Ben Davies. But we normally strategize things for the long term for Liverpool. And again, if Jude Bellingham is that answer, then of course that will hopefully be a midfielder for the next 10 years, hopefully. But again, Matheus Nunes, for me, 23 years of age, but for me, I think we already have players at the club that already do what he does. Then realistically, Curtis Jones, I think, can do what he can do. The new lad as well. I forgot his name. The one that played in the academy against Leipzig as well. He had a very good game as well. Looking a bit more into him, completely forgotten his name. The Spanish midfielder, but he is centre back or midfielder. But again, for 35 million euros. I think it was pounds, to be fair. I don't think it was euros, sorry. But again, is he worth it? Like, I would personally say no, chat. But let me know your thoughts as well, because a lot of the rumours as well has also come out and said that Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain could potentially leave the club, of course, with Jesse Lingard going to Nottingham Forest yesterday. West Ham are looking for a midfielder. Is Ox that midfield option? Would Liverpool allow Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain to leave? I would say no. Now, I think Liverpool are willing to, let Ox go for free next summer, and then, of course, bring players in. Now, of course, I'm not saying Matheus Nunes is completely, not of it, would never get into a Liverpool team. Whatever Jurgen Klopp wants, we quite clearly know he loves the Portuguese league, or the Liverpool transfer committee love the Portuguese league. But again, I think this is more just speculation. And like James Pierce said, earlier on, that it is complete nonsense as well. As he said, told that talks of the bidding from Sporting with Matheus Nunes is complete nonsense as well, which again, I think is true. I think, look, I've seen plenty of people going, "Oh, well, James Pierce said this about Alisson. He said it about Thiago as well." And look, for me, guys, I think something like this as well. I think even Neil Jones came out and said Nunes isn't on the list for Liverpool and midfielders. Again, I think it's just people, because Liverpool, two major signings have come out of Portugal. I think again, people are just making it up. And of course, Liverpool need midfielders, midfield signings anyway. And I think people are putting two and two together and coming up with five. I think, to be awfully honest with you as well. But again, we will, of course, keep up to date with all of the news as well as it comes in as well. But for me, guys, I don't think Matheus Nunes is Liverpool bound, personally anyway. Nunes will score for fun next season. That talent around him is insane, easily 40 goals as well. I don't think Matheus Nunes is coming. No, absolutely not, Gary. Like I did say, and like I put in the title as well, it is complete and utter nonsense for me as well. But 30 million. Let me go. 30 million euros, if true, is Buttons as well. I think it's 30 million euros. Not euros, sorry, 30 million pounds. It was. So I think it's around 36 million euros that was getting talked about. Anyway, I just worry about our injury-prone midfield. All a year older. Also, Ox testimonial. Testimony to his weight. We have seen Liverpool team designated an injury before, so it does happen. Could it be the case next season as well? I think when you look at it, North Red as well, and thank you for popping in, my friend, as well. I think with the addition of Harvey Elliott, Fabio Carvalho, as Jurgen said, we've already signed a midfielder this summer in Fabio Carvalho, and I know he's mentioned about Harvey Elliott being technically a new signing and that, and again, it frustrates people. It does, but when you look at it, if them two can stay fit, and I think Jurgen Klopp has big plans for the both of them. Curtis Jones as well to come in. Hopefully he can progress well this season. Hopefully he can make that next step in his development as well. But again, you have the reliable ones: Thiago, Fabinho, Jordan Henderson. I understand, a year older injuries have been a big problem for Liverpool, and especially midfield as well. And it's always around November, December time. But the big plus for Liverpool, I would say, is the World Cup. Now the problem is that the middle three that I have mentioned will most likely go to the World Cup in Jordan Henderson, Thiago, and Fabinho. But you have the rest then of the midfield that can heal up and won't be doing anything for a month. Probably will end up being a pre-season again for the people that don't go to the World Cup. But again, you hope that the likes of Harvey Elliott, Fabio Carvalho will be used a lot more. I would say anyway throughout the season, especially midfield. Of course, hopefully further forward as well for both positions as well. But again, Ox, I've seen plenty of people say, "Oh, if the rumours are true about West Ham bidding £8 million, accept it, no matter what." And I'm like, sure, if Liverpool had a extra midfielder, then yeah, sure, accept £8 million. But we don't. We could literally have James Milner, Jordan Henderson injured, and no one then available on the right hand side. Maybe Harvey Elliott's got a knock as well. Again, Naby as well could be injured. I'd rather make sure. We saw with the centre backs where when we didn't replace Dejan Lovren that summer, it cost us. And we didn't expect every single centre half to get injured, did we? Virgil, Joe Gomez, and Joel Matip as well, and Fabinho as well at times. But we didn't expect that, and that's the thing you have to prepare for as well. Make sure you have everyone. Like, look at it at the minute, Liverpool could, in a theory, they've got 2 to 3 players available for each position at the minute, and it's tremendous in terms of squad depth, but we all know Klopp doesn't like huge squads. But again, the 5 substitution rule will be coming a huge effect into the season as well, I would say, for next year personally as well. And North Red said as well, RIP David Moyes as well, a true Red, you know, walk alone. Yeah, I should have mentioned this, apologies as well. But yes, the sad news did break out earlier. Of course, former owner, former chairman as well. Very, very sad news as well. And we, you know, said on Twitter, you know, RIP, and you never walk alone as well, because it was sad news when it broke out today, I think around 3 o'clock earlier on. So yeah, our thoughts are of course with his family and friends as well anyway. But Thiago, Fabinho and Elliott will be the midfield this season. I hope so, Gary. I hope so. I think personally that would be the midfield I would start against Fulham. Against Man City, I would start Naby. I think just counter pressing wise, I think City, especially in that FA Cup semi-final, when Naby counter pressed them, you know, they couldn't stop him. So for Fulham, that would be my midfield 3. For Man City, it would be Naby in there as well. But evening, mate. Hope you're well, says Chris as well. But yeah, let me know, guys, your thoughts as well about Matheus Nunes as well. And we've also spoken about this man as well, Darwin Núñez, getting 4 goals yesterday against RB Leipzig as well, looking like the player that we signed from, of course, Benfica. And again, just a whole confidence boost for Darwin Núñez. Yesterday's game was, and hopefully he can continue that now. Hopefully against Salzburg in a couple of days' time. And of course, preseason doesn't, you know, mean anything. Of course, it is just about fitness. But when you've got, you know, all rival fans going, oh, you know, Liverpool have signed a flop, Liverpool have done this, Liverpool have done that. Look, if it's a huge signing, Jurgen Klopp and this transfer committee don't make mistakes. They don't. And plain and simple, you know, Darwin Núñez, he's just getting used to his team. He's getting used to everything that's around him at the minute with Liverpool Football Club. If you watch him, you know, back in the Asia tour, you look at it and you go, you know, he was amazed by all of the support and that. And again, it will take him time to learn, you know, everything. Take him time to learn English. Take him time to learn the system, learn everything. But you can just tell from the early signs and the early, you know, position in the early stages of his Liverpool career already, there's something special there. And I cannot wait for him to be full firing. And again, I think we'll see the full firing Darwin Núñez around Christmas time, around maybe towards the end before the World Cup break, hopefully. But you know, especially after that World Cup break as well, that is when you'll see the full, you know, full version of Darwin Núñez. Then I would say, hopefully, we might see it beforehand as well. But again, as Chris has said, Núñez haters are now non-existent. Absolutely. Gone very quiet on Núñez. Yeah, exactly. They have, mate, haven't they? They've gone very, very quiet as well. His tap in was sexy. It was amazing, wasn't it? I think for me, I think the best goal was just when the Trent just passes him through and he just puts in the bottom corner. I'm not gonna lie, it does remind me a lot of Fernando Torres. That's all he needs now is the total 90. Boots, he's already got the long hair, just needs the long sleeved shirt now. That's all he needs. Oh yeah, and the white ankle tape around his ankles. That is exactly what Darwin Núñez needs now, and then he will be the perfect Fernando Torres you know, guide anyway, to be fair as well. But we have also mentioned as well Fabio Carvalho as well. He deserves a massive shout for yesterday's game as well. Was absolutely a baller, especially for Núñez's 4th goal. But again, you know, pre-season wise, he looks fit, he looks sharp, and he does look very, very good as well. Him, Harvey Elliott as well, the two of them looking tremendous for the start of the season. And hopefully, you know, it can progress into the season as well. Last year, I said that Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain was going to be something amazing last year. And yeah, we all know what happened last season. But again, I think that Harvey Elliott, he's looked as sharp as what he did last summer, probably even sharper, I would say, as well. But again, as Fabio Carvalho as well, he'll have time to adjust and hopefully, you know, get used to the system for Liverpool. Because I think as well, in this preseason, he has been playing a lot in the front three. But again, I still think there's something there in that Thiago role for Fabio Carvalho in this Liverpool team as well. Personally, I would say that as well. Of course, we've also spoken about this man, Matheus Nunes, and of course the whole shenanigans this morning about the whole bids being put in for him. According to Portuguese news outlets, of course, £30 million. The supposed deal was meant to be rumoured around anyway, and as well, negotiation support supposedly was meant to be a full steam ahead anyway, according to outlets in Portugal. But of course, James Pearce coming out and saying, told that talks of Liverpool bidding for Sporting's Matheus Nunes is nonsense. Club stance unchanged regarding summer business. No plans to strengthen midfield further in this window as well. And Fabrizio Romano as well coming out and saying no bid or negotiations for Matheus Nunes to Liverpool as things stand. Nothing has changed around this deal. Liverpool asked for Jude Bellingham in June, but it was an impossible deal. Not even a negotiation, as Dortmund consider him untouchable this summer as well. Which again, we've also mentioned as well his stats for last season as well. Again, 4 goals, 5 assists. 50 appearances last season for Sporting in all competitions. For me, guys, again, I'm not saying that Matheus Nunes is a massive no for Liverpool, but again, I would say personally, Liverpool will not be going after him. I think, as Fabrizio Romano said about Liverpool asking for Jude Bellingham, we've said about it all summer long. He's Liverpool's #1 target for next summer. Anyway, it's happening with sexy as well, as Gary says. And Gary said, by the time the World Cup starts, Darwin would have scored 15 goals. I bloody hope so, Gary. I do bloody hope so. Anyway, but guys, that is going to be it for tonight. Anyway, like I did say, there was meant to be a Premier League show tonight, but it will now be tomorrow night. Hopefully at 9 o'clock. I'll hopefully ask a couple of the lads to come on, of course, and a couple of other people as well. If there are any other supporters out there watching this video as well and would like to come on, then please feel free to DM me on Twitter, of course at the COP Council. And if any of you guys as well would like to come on as well, let me know on Twitter as well. But again, guys, if there is any other news, of course, about Matheus Nunes or any other transfer, considering this summer, then of course we will let you all know as soon as it happens anyway, or as soon as I can get on anyway and talk about it, of course. But hopefully all of you have had a fantastic Friday night as well. Well, hopefully you have a fantastic rest of your weekend as well, of course. But hopefully we'll see you all tomorrow at 9 o'clock talking Premier League. We're going to be talking about the title race, relegation battle, and we're also going to be talking about transfers as well, about each club as well, because I think that's a little bit interesting as well. Of course, you look at Chelsea, they've been very busy of late. Manchester United, failure to get people in the door as well. Liverpool and City doing their business early. Spurs as well. Forest doing amazing business as well at the moment. So we're going to be talking all about that anyway in tomorrow's show at 9 o'clock anyway. But guys, have a fantastic rest of your day anyway, and hopefully I'll see you all tomorrow for the Premier League show anyway. But I've been Connor from the COP Council. I will see you all then. Ta-ra.